Hello there, good morning. Welcome back to the game development series of this really small and simple game called Galactic Greenhouse. And today I wanted to continue on the development of the next section, next question, where I left yesterday. And today, actually, the main thing that I want to develop is to press the continue button, because since the game starting to be became larger, became longer, I had to spend more time to the point where I left. That's why the first thing I want to implement today is to implement this continue function. And then after pressing the continue function, I want to jump directly to where I left yesterday and where I want to develop that time. Let's just start with implementing this continue function. In order to implement this continue button, the first thing I wanted to check is to manually press and continue the functions to see that if the functionality is working right now, or before making it autonomous. And as you can see, I have added 3 types of context menu items under the class called chapter manager, which is this context menu items attribute. These attributes allow me to call these functions, call these methods inside the editor, as you can see over here. When I press these three dots, I can call the functions inside this editor, as you can see over here. And let me just present you one of them. For example, right now I have see that continue button is visible, and I want to call the flash player prefs, which removes the save file from the game. And right now you can see the effect that right now the player has no save progress, and that's why the continue button does not appear. But in addition to this, I still need to deal with the attributes, deal with the functionality of this continue button. And let me just continue to implement this. Okay, so far so good, and it looks like I managed to implement the continue functionality more. And as you can see right now, when I press the play, when I load the game, and if I press the new game, it starts a new game with the basic dialog flow. And as you can see, the dialog flow works without any problem, etc. When I press the play and when I press the continue button, as you can see, it just loads into the chapter 2 element. However, there is a trick, there is a problem in here, that this isn't the dialogue starts for the chapter 2, and I need to fix this. Fix to load that dialog flow for completing this save and load functionality. Actually, only the continue functionality, because I also needed to add handle progress and save progress throughout the game in the future. Okay, since I managed to load the functionality, since I managed to implement this load functionality, I wanted to play over this notation for this question 1 or question 2 or question 0, because it looks like there are some misalignment inside the scripts. That in some places I set the question as question 1, and in the other script I called the same question, the same level as question 0. So the first thing I need to I need to do is to resolve this annotation problem, and then I want to implement this fun section, the intro to fun section. That, as you can see, I write down some text over here in order to implement this. In addition to this, since my dialog flow is implemented in this game manager and the chapter manager is a whole another script, the chapter manager and game manager calls each other, make some calls. Chapter manager says to game manager that you need to implement this dialog, and game manager said to chapter manager you need to enable this element and elements and disable these elements. And maybe I need to spend some time to resolve this thing, but right now I do not want to focus on the I do not want to focus on optimizing the scripts. I just wanted to write down all the methods that came to my mind, and maybe after that I will make some improvements for the code right now, in the next time. Okay, now that I managed to grab and drop functionality, I managed to does not allow read access. Okay, let's go and fix that also. I managed to finalize some elements. Read write, where are you? Read write access. I managed to implement this continue functionality, and I managed to load the chapter 3 elements in order to integrate this integrate this fun for the game flow, and if the player grabs and drops the pods, let me just finalize this chapter 2 section, actually playing with time scale art, and also I will probably need to remove this now mesh components over. Actually, I need to remove this line for the player to get over this plant phase zone. And as you can see right now, I managed to start the dialog flow, and I managed to load the chapter 3, but it has some errors. However, today my time was over, and I need to deal with these errors in tomorrow, and chapter 2 should chapter 3 logic flow should be improved, especially the fonts. So that's it for today, and today was a good day. I hope that I will manage to finalize this chapter 3 section in tomorrow. And in addition to this, let's add player cannot walk through the plant race zones. And that's it for today. See you later, and bye.